I think often it's easy for us to assume all the people that we disagree with on fundamental issues, like whether or not Trump is lacking respect for our democratic values and whether or not that should be disqualifying and deciding who to vote for. I think it's easier to go, oh, people must just be completely different in their values. They just don't like democracy, so that's why they're supporting Trump. But as we've talked about, it honestly makes me feel better and is more accurate to make sure you include in your analysis. Some people do have fundamental differences. Some people will openly say, I'd love a dictator Trump, right? And that person you're not going to win over. But a lot of people have better values than the dictator person, but are misinformed. And so they think they're supporting the person who respects democracy. They think the election was genuinely rigged, right? And they have to be judged as adults for coming to those false conclusions as well. But it's a different analysis for sure. And those people are more reachable. And in understanding that type of person, you got to go look at the media they're consuming. So if you grew up and your dad always had Fox News on and you think that's the credible source and you watch Fox News now, and then that's shaping your worldview, while again, we can still judge and oppose politically, you at least start to understand how on earth someone comes to these incorrect conclusions and thinks all these fake and false things about who Trump is and who Kamala Harris is. And an interesting example of just the subtle ways. You have the overt things like them lying about the election or people coming on the air to do that, them lying about certain Kamala Harris facts, etc. But that's so obviously the Fox News playbook. More subtly, they often hide their viewers from the worst of Trump, and they don't show the worst of him. So then if you're not going yourself and watching the full speeches, the full interviews, and engaging with them as we do, then you're a supporter who doesn't even know as much as someone who's opposed to Trump knows about what Trump's doing and saying day to day. And here's an example of that. In Kamala Harris's interview, she was played a clip of Trump. And she reacted in a way that some MAGA people are making fun of. Let me play this, then I'll show you a different example from a Trump event where Fox News did something, and then we'll go further.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
And we'll circle back to a different part of that clip. I've played it in other segments already. But the reason she actually brought up, and then Brett Ben went, oh, it's perfect, I have a clip to play for you. She brings up Trump calling people he disagrees with politically the enemy from within and saying that's more dangerous than enemies abroad. And what Kamala Harris is reacting to there, absurdly leading to Hannity and people like that saying she's so angry. Is Fox News, you keep not playing the clip we're talking about. You keep trying to hide that from your viewers. You're playing Trump saying they say that I'm a threat, but I'm not. And then the extended version of the clip that was played for Kamala Harris in that interview is this.
They're using your words
By the way, please do remember to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Those who are already subscribed, thank you. And thank you for listening to this over and over and over again. I really appreciate it. But if you're not, please do.
They're using your words to say that you are not for crime and keeping particularly women safe in ads. I want to take a look at what you said and just tell me, let's watch it.
If we have to.
Yeah.
We have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries, because if you have a smart president, he can handle them pretty easily. But the thing that's tougher to handle are these lunatics that we have inside, like Adam Schiff. I call him the enemy from within.
Mr. President, Kamala Harris has said you sounded unhinged and unchecked power is in our future. What do you say about that?
I thought it was a nice presentation.
And then that gets into what he said that was played for Kamala Harris. So there, they played 3 moments. Enemy from within, radical left lunatics, and who he cites is Adam Schiff. So now we know that phrase, enemy from within, it's not talking about people who would riot, as now Republicans are saying. No, he was talking about if people riot after the election, then like they're left people, so then the military. What they keep hiding from their viewers, and they didn't confront Trump with, which is the point Kamala Harris was making, is the fact that a little blip, a little part of that clip, you very intentionally didn't include. Let's look at the full context of one of the clips they played.
Joe Biden said he doesn't think it's going to be a peaceful election day.
Well, he doesn't have any idea what's happening in all fairness. He spends most of his day sleeping. I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
They played 3 different clips from this interview, and 10 seconds after one of the clips they played is Trump specifying who's going to deal with the enemy from within, that he specified to be Adam Schiff is an example. At a different time, he's listed Nancy Pelosi, the National Guard or military. And then MAGA goes, no, but I think that he meant that, like, not that. And yeah, that's exactly what he said, but... Or we can just treat him like an adult and take his words at face value, because that's what he said. By itself, this whole enemy from within thing is so dangerous. But when you cite your political opponents like Schiff, Pelosi, as a way to give us more insight into what that phrase means, and then you indicate the military or National Guard is how you're going to deal with them, that's why Kamala Harris is saying you didn't play the most notable part. You're just fine, MAGA, with him saying his political opponents are the biggest threat. Terrorist organizations abroad, what about Adam Schiff? And we need to deal with that, maybe through the military. I showed you in a different segment, but here's how this should be presented by Fox News, and it's not being.
So Election Day, former President Donald Trump is claiming that his political opponents are more dangerous than foreign adversaries of the United States.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. That's a bigger enemy than China and Russia.
The quote, enemy from within, is a phrase that the former president repeated yesterday in an interview on Fox.
We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries.
Trump went on to suggest how he might handle these so-called enemies from within on Election Day should he win in November.
We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
So who exactly are these enemies from within that Mr. Trump says he would consider deploying the military or the National Guard against? Someone that, as Trump suggests, poses a greater threat to national security than Russia or China. Who are they?
The thing that's tougher to handle are these lunatics that we have inside, like Adam Shifty Schiff.
Okay, U.S. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, right in the area I am right now, Los Angeles, who is now running for a seat in the U.S. Senate. He was the lead prosecutor in Trump's first impeachment trial. So, as a factual matter, stripping this of all adjectives and any bias, the Republican nominee is telling you that as commander-in-chief, he will contemplate using the United States military or National Guard to go after his political opponents, including Democrats, such as the likely next U.S. Senator from California, Adam Schiff.
That's the correct, accurate reporting, but that's not what Fox News does. Rarely are they doing thoughtful, accurate coverage. But they crush the CNNs in ratings because the rage factory, the fear-mongering, the hatred that spews there, that actually, on a primal level, really grabs people more than much else. And it's sad. And going back to the initial premise of this segment, them choosing very intentionally, because that you include that part and you try to get Trump to respond to it. Eek. The military, when you've now laid out this case for how the enemy from within is just Democrats that you don't like, how much more authoritarian can you get in your ideology? But they don't include that. So then if you're a viewer of Fox News, you don't really even know why Kamala Harris is saying what she is saying there. You're thinking, gosh, all of a sudden, why is she upset about this? Oh. When her response is as justified as it gets because she's seen the full clip that Fox News chose to not show. Now, on this this same little part of the interview, there's one part that I want to respond to that relates to how people fall into the wrong political ideology.
If he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States, why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What
God,
is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle.
Okay, I love this part so much.
About the American people, and in fact, not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never.
Well, and Kamala Harris goes, "What? What? Why are you? You just volunteered that word. Oh, Madam Vice President, what? You think MAGA's all stupid? You think they're a bunch of pieces of trash? You think they should have their voting rights revoked? Is that what you're saying? What, Brett? Gosh, sheesh. No one's calling him stupid." Clarification. Kamala Harris is not calling them stupid. I'm not calling them stupid. A lot of people in the comments of this video might be saying that, but no, of course not. I think many are misled. But him volunteering that, I saw someone say that he wanted so badly to corner her into creating another Hillary Clinton deplorables moment, right? So they're stupid. Are they a bunch of just between you and me, they're all terrible, right? You hate them all. They're worthless to you. You think that, right? Deplorables. Are they all deplorables? Say it. And of course she shuts it down because that's not something that you say. But Trump does demean political opponents in that sort of way, like saying they're the enemy from within. And no, I don't. I've met some really smart in their expertise in the area where they're, whether it's business or anything else. I'm thinking of someone, business. They're way smarter than me. Way smarter. They know way more in that area of life. And then it happens to be the case that they've just been misinformed on politics and they're going to vote for Trump, but they're a smart person. So yeah, I don't think we should go, oh, just because everyone's stupid. Because we're not going to make progress if that's really what we think. And then there are some people, that word's such a bad word, but just who aren't engaging thoughtfully with politics much and just sort of stumble their way. They turn on or tune into Fox News. Fox News, as I just showed you an example of, often does not present things with the full context or purposefully avoids talking about certain things or overtly lies about things. And if that's the lens that you're looking through the world, that you're looking at the world through, I should say, then still get it together. But there's some sympathy there. I don't know how you don't realize that that's happening. You could just fact check Fox News really easily. But, you know, I got enough love to go around. Come on to our side. It's better. And we're less dystopian, you know? Trump's whole, we're just third world country, everything sucks, I hate this country so much. That sort of rhetoric, that's not how we roll. If you pride yourself in being a patriot, this is where you want to be, not Trump's I hate America sort of thing going on. Let me know what you thought. Why didn't they include the full context every time they bring that clip up? I just can't figure it out. And support the show, get the bonus show by clicking the join button below.